knew the Word, and if you said it wrong or you taught it wrong, they'd tell you about it. And all of a sudden they were teaching you instead of you teaching them. So I had to study real hard. I lost my train of thought. And they'd really get on me about that. I'll come back to it in a minute. Y'all know the good thing about Alzheimer's? You can hide your own Easter eggs. Abhor what is evil. There's love without hypocrisy. Let your love be real. Oh, I know what I was talking about. I was talking about this old woman that was in there. And she, I was just saying what I was talking about. I said, you need to tell your children that you love them. This was a woman of God. I mean, she was a woman of God, but that's what she believed. But you know what? It's because it was the way she was raised. She was never told of growing up. She was never told. But I never remember until my daddy was close to being on his deathbed, him even telling me he loved me. I needed that as a little boy, I think. Y'all grew up that way? I grew up in a generation that was behind the generation I lived in. Because my parents were older than most parents of people that were my age. So I grew up in learning the old ways and in the old ways of life, more so than many did. Let people know that you love them. Let people know that you care about them. And we need to do that. The church needs to let each other know, hey, I got you back. Hey, I love you. Hey, I'm concerned about you. Abhor what is evil. In other words, we should get mad at what is evil. But you know what? People celebrate evil. People like evil. People wish evil on one another. We as Christians should not be wishing evil on anybody. Now, I know sometimes, and I got a temper, just a little bit. Talking about that evil, folks, y'all look around at how evil this world has become. All the abuse that is going on. Child abuse, verbal abuse, domestic abuse, neglect. All those things are evil. But then what about all the murders and all the rape and all the hate? Why in the world do we hate one another? It says hate what is evil. It should make us mad when we see evil. It should stir us up when we see evil. When somebody's treated unfair. Now let me tell you something about when I was growing up and I went to school, I got picked on a lot. Y'all see these ears? Every big ear joke in the world when I was little. Well, my head finally grew to fit my ears a little bit. Well, I was bad for picking on people too. But you know what? One line I would never cross. One line I never crossed. Because I remember on the first day at District 7 school when I got on the school bus. Back then it was 1st through 6th grade. And there's a whole lot of difference in a 1st grader and a 6th grader. Mind and size. And I remember the first day this little girl got on the school bus. Back over here on Giddy Road. She'd never been to school in her life. And the first thing they did, when that little girl got on that school bus, somebody reached up and slapped the wig off her head. And she was bald-headed. I was sitting there, and tears running down her eyes, and all she could do was walk down the aisle. And I hurt for that little girl. I hurt for that little girl. She couldn't help she was bald-headed. She had some kind of disease. And she ended up dying young. But them older kids done that every Sunday. I couldn't do anything about it. It'd kill me. I was a 1st grader. I'll never forget it. Every morning they'd slap that wig off her head. And people would laugh. And you know when it finally stopped? When the people quit laughing. And I always felt so bad for that little girl. It was sad. Children are mean. Even our children are mean. Even our children are mean. And where do they learn it? Many times from us. But one line I never crossed was I never picked on anybody that was mentally handicapped or just couldn't help it. Now, if you were just dumb and some other things, I'd pick on you. And people picked on me too, believe me. They gave it back to me. But people are cruel. Even our children can be cruel. And you see it, hey, put a stop to it. Don't let it happen. We need to be teaching that it's wrong to seat with her head. I'll never forget it. God is good. People have always been mean. You look back at what they did to Jesus. Look back at what they did to Jesus. Look to the disciples. I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago. People are barbaric. People will kill you for nothing. Or kill you when they find out, say they rob you, and you ain't got nothing, they'll kill you for not having anything. So all y'all that's scared to carry cash, forget it. It ain't going to save your life. It ain't going to save your life. That's why I ain't scared of cash. Y'all say, well, if I got cash, I get robbed. Well, they can get your debit card too. They get your credit card. They'd rather have it in your billfold than your cash. Thank God for cash. Can anybody say amen? Cling to what is good. We should be grabbing hold to the good in life. We should be grabbing hold to the good. But why do we have a tendency to want to grab